Tim Hurley, and I am talking to Nick Huddleston, who is the guitar and mandolin player utility man for Carly Pearce. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is a special treat today because you're in Los Angeles. You're going to be playing SoFi Stadium tonight, so I really appreciate you taking the time to hang with me this morning. And we're going to get
Oh, yeah.
more into what you are actually doing right now and how your day looks. But tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from originally?
So I am what we call a unicorn in Nashville. I actually grew up about 30 miles outside of town in a little town called Lebanon, Tennessee.
You're the one.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I've been there since '94 and grew up going to the Ryman, going to the Opry with my dad all the time, and yeah, I grew up on a little farm outside of town.
So country fan from day one. Is that accurate, or are you kind of spanning different genres of music?
Definitely started with bluegrass for sure. My dad made sure we were always going to see Ricky Skaggs, Del McCurry, all those
Oh,
kind of bands.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice to have them
Yeah,
in
and
close
then
proximity.
exactly, yeah. And then everyone has their rebellious high school stage. Mine, most people, it's metal. Mine was like to go as far as John Mayer, so
Ah,
But yeah, yeah.
get the ladies
But yeah,
swooning for you.
yeah, always knew that country was always going to be a place where I ended up.
So you started with bluegrass. What was your first instrument? Was it guitar?
So I started in piano lessons actually when I was about 5 years old, and I told my parents that I was going to be a drummer, and they decided that that might be a little bit too loud, so they ended up getting me a mandolin when I was 10 years old. So
Oh, very cool. That's a good soft instrument to start with.
exactly, yeah. My dad, he was always loved music. My mom always loved music. He came home from work one day. He had a guitar, he had a mandolin, a little dulcimer, he had an upright bass, and he said, "We're all going to learn to play music together." So my dad learned to play bass.
Oh, no
My
way.
mom
So
learned to play guitar.
so you guys all
Yeah.
learned at the same time. It wasn't like something handed down to you from the generations. That's really unique, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really interesting. My dad had an uncle who played fiddle and banjo, back in the day, but apart from that, there wasn't a whole lot of music going on. My uncle, his brother played some bluegrass banjo out in North Carolina, but yeah, we all just learned together in the living room.
All right. So you grew up close to Nashville. So you saw what the industry was like from day one, and you still wanted to get involved.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny, that's kind of the only thing I've ever wanted to do. I was always around it. It's always kind of been in my blood. So
Very cool. Very cool. So obviously you're on the road now with Carly Pearce on a stadium tour with Kenny Chesney. How did you get to
yeah,
that point? What's the trajectory line here that, we can all dream of?
man. I mean, I just turned 30, so I guess my family started playing shows when I was either 11 or 12. So 18 years of randomness always can. Everyone's story is different. Everyone's story is unique and like very interesting. But for me, I played all through high school and college with my parents, and then I had like a couple little bands on the side. But I went to a school in Nashville called Trevecca Nazarene, and happened to meet a buddy there who we kicked it off. We played music together 5 times a week. Toured on the weekends, and 6 years later, he gets a gig with someone named Carly Pearce, and then he's been on that gig for a few years. And then once they had another opening that they needed someone to come in, and he called me up, and so we've been playing together for about a year.
Were you trying to sell yourself there for a couple of years? Just kind of always, lurking in the shadows, like, hey, if you ever need somebody.
I mean, he's one of those people that like, you have people in your life you click with that you can work with on anything. So anytime an opportunity like to play with him was going to come up, obviously I was going to go for it. So, but
So
yeah, I
was
mean,
was
I
there like an interview process with Carly? She obviously had to give the green light to it. Did you have to get the vibe check or anything like that, or was it pretty straightforward?
So yeah, it was actually a pretty chill process. So I had met Carly a few years ago on the road with playing for somebody else, but they had a one-off during COVID in Las Vegas where they just needed someone to come in and play acoustic. So they just hired me. I was just one gig, uh,
No
and it
pressure.
just went
No
really.
pressure.
Yeah, no, yeah, it went really well, and I just think we all jived really well, and there was an opening that came up after that, and it just made sense. So
So for our listeners, you got to know how insane that sounds. You're like, yeah, I just got hired for like one gig with Carly Pearce in Vegas at a show in Vegas. Like, how many songs did you have to
yeah,
learn? How much pressure is on you in that moment? Tell us about
you
that a little bit.
know, it was coming out of COVID, so no one's no one's left their house in 7, 8 months, whatever. I had been doing a lot of studio stuff in my house, but not really a whole lot of live playing. So it was really nice, honestly, when someone sent me a folder of like an hour's worth of music. It was something to dive into again and like really get like some passion back. So yeah, it was a lot of work to get everything down because I don't want to embarrass myself, and I definitely don't want to embarrass Carly Pearce in front of people either. So,
Oh,
but
that's
yeah, it
so
was it
cool.
was a lot of work, but it was fun. So
So you mentioned being on the road with other people, other bands. Anyone else that we might have known that you've been touring with before?
yeah, so my first gig out of college was in the gospel world, but my first real like country gig was amazing songwriter artist named Adam Hambrick. He was with Capitol Records.
Yeah, know
Yeah,
Adam
so
very
we
well.
yeah, Adam's a great dude. So yeah, I played with Adam for years.
So are you
So
doing songwriting as well? You mentioned some studio work. Are you producing or are you strictly just a player?
I used to write a lot, but I really enjoy just the music side of things. So I do a lot of reproduction work for some publishing companies and that kind of stuff, and then anything else I can get. But we're so busy right now that I haven't been able to hardly do anything. So
Can't imagine
yeah,
why you're
we've been.
busy.
I know, yeah, man. What is this? What day are we at? This is probably the July 22nd, something like that. We've been gone since July 5th, so
Pretty close.
haven't
20
even.
July 23rd.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, is it Monday, Tuesday? Who knows? It's Saturday. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we've been so busy
So
that
is this your first ever stadium tour?
yeah, it is.
I mean, how much of a different animal is this? Now you're pulling up into SoFi Stadium. Just give us
Yeah.
a day in the life. What does that look like? When do you guys do sound check?
Yeah, so usually first thing we pull in, the crew guys, they get up, they start going to their stations on the stadium, and then the rest of us are just chugging as much coffee as we can to try to stay awake. And then Carly is a runner, and so I was not much of a runner before I got this gig, but I'm trying my best. So we'll all usually go for a run for a couple hours and
For
go
a
to the
couple of
gym.
hours? Ah.
Well, she runs for a long time. I go to the gym and I run for a while, then I lift for a while. But yeah,
So do they take you off site to the gym or is there one at the stadium that you can use?
it depends on where we are. But Carly actually has a treadmill that we tour with too, which is nice. So,
Crazy,
but then
right?
yeah, we usually there's a lot of catering going on, and then we don't usually sound check till about 3. But our set is we're first to 4 on this tour, so we're playing at 5 o'clock. So really the day starts picking up around 3 o'clock.
So you sound check at 3 p.m. in the stadium the day
Yep.
of the show.
Yeah, yeah. So, but
That's crazy.
we've been on this tour with Kenny since April, but we're actually doing all the amphitheaters with him as well. So usually it's the stadium shows, it's all 4 bands, but just the amphitheaters, it's the 2 of us. So there's pretty different schedules between the 2 of them.
Oh, that's great. So direct support has obviously got to be a little bit more fun than the opening slot, right?
Yeah, I mean it's the lights are down. It's a little darker outside. There's we get to play for about an hour, which is really nice because on these stadium shows we're about 30 minutes, so it's kind of a sprint.
How choreographed do you have to be 30 minutes? I mean, it has to be executed perfectly, I would imagine, just to be able to keep it that tight.
Yeah, we're usually within about 30 seconds of the same amount of time every night. So
How much rehearsal did that take to get to that point?
we usually do a week of rehearsals before each tour that we're on. But our music director, he's talking in our ears, making sure everyone's at the right spot, ready to go. The song's going to start without me or with me, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to be there and ready to go. So
So for our listeners, that's you're wearing in-ear monitors and you're literally having somebody speak to you while you're up on stage telling you when things are going to
mm-hmm.
happen. It's crazy to think about, right?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I wish. Well, it's probably good that people can't hear everything, but I wish people could hear what was going on during the show. There's a
And
lot
you
of cues, a lot of, sometimes it's, hey, the generator's about to explode backstage. Y'all, you never know. There's weather cues, all kinds of stuff all the
That's
time.
crazy. And do you have talk back abilities as well if you need something?
Yeah, everyone on stage has the ability to at least get in contact with somebody. So Carly won't hear everyone's, but I can at least talk to the music director.
Do you have to hit a button or something, or how does that work exactly?
We have a thing called an Optigate, which is it's a little. If you're familiar with microphones, I know you are. You plug the cable into this OptiGate, and you plug the OptiGate into the microphone, and it's a proximity gate. So when you're close to it, it'll turn the microphone on.
So
And
you
when you
can
step
walk
away
over to a
from it,
side stage and talk in that way.
yeah, so it's like the minimal amount of effort. You don't have to step on anything. You don't have to push a button.
So
Yeah,
we actually had to reschedule our first meeting because a bus broke down. For us, you can't
we
imagine that anything could possibly go wrong on a tour like this. You guys are cruising around. So what actually happened?
Oh, yeah. Luckily, it wasn't broken down. We just had some maintenance issues that we had to get addressed where I was going to do the interview with you on the bus, but we were going from hotel room to venue to bus, and I never knew if I was going to get a chance to talk and have some quiet. But just general maintenance because the bus has been gone from the shop for about a month at this point. So you have to do a lot of that stuff on the road, or you'll break down in the middle of North Dakota somewhere. So
That's crazy. So are you of the group that's going to be at SoFi tonight? Obviously, a bunch of different bands, Old Dominion, Dan and Shay, Kenny Chesney. Are you guys the only ones that are on the tour bus the whole time? Because I know Dan and Shay, for instance, they're flying back and forth. Kenny's probably, who knows what Kenny's doing? He's probably, he'll probably fly in 2 minutes before showtime. Are you guys the only ones that are on the road full time?
There's a lot. I mean, I know that they have like 10 to 15 buses out there with Kenny. So pretty much everyone is bussing around right now, especially with the way this proximity is. We're on the West Coast. So we have a show every other day pretty much. So there's no real convenient way to get in and out. So
got to be a little
pretty much
we're
all just hoofing it out here. Yeah.
So how many people are actually sleeping on your bus? Is there a band tour bus or is it band crew, the whole crew? Is it one of those giant ones with like 30 people or?
Right now we are all on one bus. So there's 11 of us.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm going to give you the opportunity to call out. Who's the smelly guy on the bus?
I can't do that. I can't do that. Everyone knows way too much about me for me to start calling people out.
All right, we'll get you next time. I got to get some dirt. There's got to be moments when you're on the road, personalities are clashing with band or crew or something like that. Has that ever happened on this particular tour?
You're gonna think that I'm lying, but honestly, we all get along super well. I know that's not the fun answer, but we've gone through different people over the last year or so, but I feel like the crew we have right now, everyone knows their job. Everyone knows that this is all a shared space. There's not a lot of junk everywhere. There's not garbage, everyone's very respectful and they're here to work, which is a great thing.
Keep it totally professional, right?
Yeah.
We go into a stadium. I'm going to be at your show tonight. I'm fired up for it. I love Carly. I'm going to make sure to get there early to see her. You guys have incredible sound. Has it ever gone wrong in a stadium where just the sound is crashing on you? The monitors go out. You're in panic mode and you got to fix it.
I've had my in-ears die at the Atlanta stadium, but luckily we have a guy side stage. He has a generic set. He can throw them back on you. But, our crew, they're on top of it, man. Like if this goes wrong, they have 6 other ways that we can accomplish that same task. So
have you ever chunked badly, in a stadium atmosphere where you're just like, ooh, that was like a bad note. And, you get the look back from Carly.
I mean, everyone wants a few notes back every night, but, maybe there's been a few. I'm bouncing around from the instruments so much right now. So I'm playing mandolin, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and resonator. And then our other guitar player is playing electric guitar, acoustic, and fiddle. So, it's hard to get comfortable on anything in 30 minutes.
I can't imagine. So how many you're playing? You're playing 4 different instruments over the course of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny, we started, like me and the other guitar player started playing with Carly at the same time last summer, and she released this record that is weirdly designed for, I feel like, the two of us to be, to play on, because it has lots of mandolin, has lots of fiddle, and, both of us have come from gigs where all we did was ever play guitar. So it just kind of feels like the perfect, it feels like the perfect setting for us to come in and actually like play like ourselves,
So now that you've got the opening slot in a stadium, how bad do you guys want to be headlining those stadium shows now? Can you see it in the future? Is it now it's become attainable?
Oh, yeah, man. No one works harder than she does. So Whatever she wants to go grab, she's going to go get it.
Very cool. Well, she's very lucky to have you on board, man. And I really appreciate you taking the time to hang with me this morning. I know you guys are doing the runaround today for sure. Where are you right now? Are you in a conference room or are you at the stadium?
I am in a locker room in the stadium. We've got a little bit of vibe tapestry set up, but just a nice bathroom.
That's got to be good to get off the bus, probably into a real bathroom.
I think this is actually the head coach locker room. So
is it right? Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's very special. Very good, man. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. I really look forward to hopefully catching up with you again when you're more comfortable. I can get some dirt. You can talk trash about your smelly band members. But we're really rooting for you. You kill it. It's always a pleasure to watch you guys perform. It's been so fun to follow your socials. So if you want people to follow you, where can they find you? What's your social handle?
Man, I just have Instagram. It's Nick Huddleston _.
Really, really fun to watch you along this ride. And I cannot wait for tonight, man. I'll be there front and center in the sandbar, rocking out, drinking up. So have a great show tonight. And hopefully we catch up again real soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim.
All right, man. Have a good one. Good luck.
You as well.